I know it feels like all you can do is hold on because that's all you have. Like if it burns down all around you, it's your chance to become a phoenix. How do you manifest when everything in your life is going wrong? Just one thing after the other, everything seems to be falling apart. What do you do? How can you get a grip on that? How do you manifest through this storm that you're going through? My name's Jessica. I'm with Energy Escapades, and I think energy is an adventure. So if you want to come on the adventure with me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and let's go. Let's talk about some things that you can do when everything around you is just falling apart. The first thing that you want to look at is your self-concept. So if you're having a hard time at work, or if you're having trouble with interpersonal relationships, if you're having financial issues, take a moment to look inside and ask yourself, what do I feel is acceptable for me? What is the story that you tell yourself? So if you can identify your story, that will help you see what your self-concept is. And whatever your story is, it's your threshold basically. It's what you will allow into your life. And if you're constantly telling yourself like I have bad luck, like people are mean to me, like I'm neglected, I'm always late to work, I just can't, like the traffic's so awful, everything's against me. If you're constantly saying this stuff and you're identifying as that, and that is your story, that is your self-concept, and your life is going to go according to your self-concept. But it can also do that in a positive way. So one of the ways you can adjust that is through your self-talk. That's your first place to start. You want to say things to yourself that really reflect who you want to be and where you want to be in your life. And you have no idea. You have no idea how much power your words have. They have so much power. Saying them out loud, thinking them is one thing, but what you say, there is so much power in your spoken and written word. And I would strongly encourage you to take a look at that and to start saying what you want. Here's an example. I had a self-concept that I drove a car that was kind of unreliable, and I would always focus on that. I'd be like, oh, that vehicle, it doesn't start. I realized what I was saying, and I stopped, and I was like, if my words have power, I need to start watching what I'm saying. Let me try to say something else. So I changed my story, and I started saying, oh yeah, no, it starts, it runs. Yeah, it does, it starts. And I said that to myself for about 3 days. I went out to my car, which had traditionally had issues with starting. It had some sort of parasitic battery drain, and it would struggle to start, especially if it was even a little bit cold outside. Like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, that car was like, ugh, it was fighting with me. I went out in the middle of snow and at night, so it was really cold. I sat in my car, I turned the key, nothing happened. I turned the key again and it cranked. And I was like, it just started. My car just started, right? Because it did not want to do that. It had not wanted to. And well, that's what I thought. That's what I had said. My self-concept was of someone who was driving a very unreliable vehicle that didn't like to start. So I was like, that's interesting. And so then I started saying, it starts first time every time. Starts first time every time. First time every time. First time every time. First time every time. That was my new mantra. I went out the next day, turned it, first time. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. I turned it off, turned it back on, cranked. I was in the process of selling the vehicle, but for the remainder of the time that I owned that vehicle, it cranked first time every time. And I tested this a lot. Like I would just go out and just randomly be like, and it would crank first time every time. This is a very tangible example of how what we say, what we expect, what we think, what we conceptualize as being true will become true. So try that. Try saying what you want. Next, be gentle with yourself. You're going through something. Like take a moment and just like cradle yourself. Be kind to you. How would you speak to someone that you loved who was going through that? I've noticed that a lot of people in the law of attraction, law of assumption community, they have a tendency to put the blame on themselves when things start to go wrong. It's like, this is going wrong. Well, what did I do wrong? Like, how did I mess this up? This is all my fault. I messed it up. How did I? Well, no. And you blame yourself. That doesn't do anything useful. You're doing nothing useful by being mean to yourself, by blaming yourself. You just have to let it go. Accept that sometimes bad things are going to happen. You live on this planet. It's impossible to live your life on this, no matter how good you are at the law of attraction, the law of assumption, no matter how good you are, inevitably something is going to happen that was outside of your control, that's unpleasant, that's bad. That's okay. That's just how life goes here. You take it in stride, you try to adjust, and you get back out there. You do the best you can in the moment with what you've got. Just be nice to you. Be kind. Acknowledge that, hey, sometimes bad things happen, and I'm allowed to feel how I feel. And it's okay, and it's not my fault. I didn't do this. Or if you did somehow do something that brought this about. Okay, let me move on. Let me get to a more stable place in my life. And then once I'm in a more stable place, I'll reflect back on this and see what lessons I can learn from it and apply those lessons to my life to try to avoid pitfalls in the future. So the other thing is that you don't want to be mean to yourself for not being able to become your optimal, best, most highest gratitude, highest frequency self. I'm not high vibing enough. Of course you're not. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in your life right now. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you're so exhausted or sad or depressed or you just can't. And that's okay. All you can do is all you can do. So if all you can do is put on an affirmation playlist that helps lift your spirits a little bit, that is something that takes almost no effort. All I have to do is push the play button and just let it play. And then I can go to sleep. That playing in the background helps to just kind of soothe my subconscious mind and like prime it for the transition to happier times because my conscious mind doesn't currently have that capacity. The most reward for the least effort was what I was trying to do at that time because I had no effort to give. I was completely out of energy. And if you're struggling and going through a lot of really bad things, you know what I'm talking about. You just don't have the energy to fix it because you're just exhausted. You're drained. So yeah, subliminals, affirmations. If you like to journal, sometimes people find that cathartic to journal. You could journal. You could write down if you wanted to. You could write down all the stuff that's giving you problems, all the bad stuff, and then crumple it up and throw it away, or burn it if you have a safe place to light something on fire. Please be careful. But yeah, that's another thing that you can do to try to release some of these pent up feelings, these bad feelings. Some people see that as a low energy thing that they can do. For me, that was too much effort. All I could do is put on my subliminals and my affirmations and exist. Sometimes that's all you can do. And the last thing is that sometimes you have to be willing to let it all crash and burn. In 2022, everything in my life got flipped upside down. My vehicle broke down. I had to move. I lost my job. I found out that someone I loved very much had a terminal illness that was going to take them very quickly. They went from healthy to gone in 3 months. They lived about 1,500 miles away from where I currently live, so I was commuting. So I wasn't able to look for another job. And then right after that, I lost my significant other. This all happened in the span of, finding out I had to move, losing my job, car broken down, my loved one passing away, and my boyfriend breaking up with me. That all happened within about a month and a half. And I mean, it was just rapid fire, life altering things. Like any one of those things would have been major, right? But I lost all of it all at once. And I am energy aware. I was energy aware at the time, and I was fighting as best I could to keep it all together. I was doing everything that I knew how to the best of my abilities, but I was so drained by everything that was happening to me that I was emotionally shutting down. I tried to listen to the affirmations and I tried to make adjustments, but it felt like I was governing. It was like I was out on a little one-man boat in the stormy ocean, and I was holding on to the sail with everything in me. I was holding on, and I was fighting so hard. Please don't break, please don't break, please don't break. I fought so hard to try to keep that little boat afloat. I did everything I could, but it got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I can't do the energy work to keep all of this stuff going. You know, I can't do this with a house. I can't fix my relationship. I can't fix and heal my loved one. I couldn't. It was all at once and I couldn't do it. It was too much. All I could do was let go. Let go of the sail and hope for the best. And I did. And everything broke. All of it. The minute I let go, the ship crashed. Crashed on the rocks and it was destroyed. It was destroyed beyond recognition. There was no going back. And I was devastated. I was devastated. I lost so much all at once. And I was heartbroken beyond what I knew I could be. Once I let it go, I could feel that release. And it was like the burden had been lifted off of me because I didn't have that tight grip anymore. I wasn't fighting with the sail. I wasn't trying to direct the boat. I just let go and I was like, fine, if you're going to crash, just crash. And it did. And it was not fixable. But the burden was lifted off of me. And I was able to start building again. And it's not like I just jumped up and started building another boat. No, I laid there. I laid there in the rocks of the imaginary shore, and I was broken right along with my boat. I was broken. But it was a chance for me to start again. It was a chance for me to start new. I could now build whatever kind of boat I wanted, right? Now that time has passed and I've been gentle with myself and I've allowed myself to heal, I've done a lot to heal from all of that I went through. And now that I've been able to heal, I can look around and see what sort of resources I have on this island that I've been stranded on, right? What boat can I build now? And I've been able to pick my life up out of the ashes of what it was. Oh, I'm a phoenix. Like if it burns down all around you, it's your chance to become a phoenix. I know it feels like all you can do is hold on. Because that's all you have. That's all you have is that little boat. You know, it's your only lifeline, and it feels like you can't let it go. Because if you let it go, what are you going to do? What's going to happen? I know the fear. I know the fear. And I can't sit here and tell you that it's going to be easy and that it's going to be fun and that it'll be fine. You'll bounce right back. No. It might hurt. It might devastate you. It might forever change your life. But that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you have to let go of what was. Sometimes you have to let it be destroyed so that you can build again. Because you can't build another boat when you're inside of a boat, right? You can't do it. So sometimes you have to let the boat be destroyed so that you can reevaluate and see what kind of new boat you want, or if you even want to get back out on the water. It gives you a chance to reevaluate your life and see what you want to do and see what your goals are and what you want. I know you're going through a lot right now. I know how painful it can be. But just do the best you can, all right? Just do the best you can. And no matter what, you will make it out to the other side. You will. Even if you crash your boat, even if it's destroyed and you've got to completely restart, you will find a way to restart if that's what you have to do. Because you're a resilient person. You're strong. And you have that ability that no matter what, if you can save it, if you can manifest your way to a better situation, that is great. You should do that. But if you have to let it go, and if it all crashes and burns, you will be the phoenix. You will rise up and you will fly. All right, well, I hope you found that helpful. If you want to follow me, please do. I'd love to get to know you guys. So if you want to have like leave me a comment down in the comments, but yeah, subscribe. Let me know how you're feeling. No matter what you're going through, it does get better. It will. Just keep faith. You'll make it.